Okay. Hi, dear students. Welcome to the third week of our class on Java programming. So today, or not today, actually, in this week, we're going to cover chapter 5 and 6. In chapter 5 and 6, so these are the list of topics in chapter 5, and the topics in chapter 6 will be kind of like similar. So the most important thing to learn from chapter 5 and 6 are basically two things. The first is a if-else statement, okay? An if-else statement. And the other thing is loops. In terms of loops, there are different implementation, different ways of implementation. The first way is basically over here is called the while statement. And then we'll have a for loop and a do while loop. So these are the most important things in chapter 5 and 6. So in this highlighted video, I'm going to briefly talk about what is the high level idea behind these two different items in chapter 5 and 6. So first, let's think about this. Let's think about a situation where you want to assign a student a grade. So the final grade for a student. So your logic is that, okay, if the student grade is larger than, suppose that the student can only have two grades, either A or B. Okay, so if your choice is that if the grade is higher than or equal to 80, so it means A, or otherwise, if it's lower than 80, it means it is going to be B. Okay, the student is going to receive B. So let's say how do we do this in Java? So suppose that we have an integer variable grade, and its value could be anything. Okay, let's suppose that for now, let's suppose we don't know its value. It can be assigned by user, or it can be typed in by someone else. Okay, so the only thing that we know that grade has a value, but we don't know the exact value, and now we want to calculate a character level grade for the student. Okay, final grade. It has to be a char, meaning that it can be can only include one character. So to implement our idea, okay, if the student grade is higher than or equal to 80, it will receive A. The student will receive A. Otherwise, it will receive B. Okay, to implement that idea, we need this statement called if. Okay, so after the if is basically a keyword, and after that we should have a pair of brackets or braces, and between them is the condition. Our condition is that, so if grade is larger than or equal to 80, and then following by that is a pair of brackets. And after that, we will have a else statement. Okay, a else statement. Else is also a keyword, and followed by a pair of brackets. Okay, so what this statement? So in the if. So here, okay, if this condition is true, meaning that, okay, if the grade is really higher than or equal to 80, so inside this block, we are going to execute our statement if this condition is satisfied. Okay, so the statement that we want to execute is basically this. We say final grade is going to be A. Okay, and then and this bracket basically signals, okay, I'm done with the statements for the true case, or for the case where the condition is satisfied. Okay, and then we need to specify, okay, what kind of condition are we what kind of statement are we going to execute if this condition is not satisfied, meaning that grade is less than 80. Okay, so then what we want to do is basically this: final grade equal to B. Okay, so this basically this if and else statement basically help us to implement this logic, okay, to assign grade, and this is the use of if. And so if you say if the value or if the statement to be executed depends on a condition, this is where you should apply if and else statement. Okay, so this is the first part, if statement. Next, I'm going to briefly talk about what is loops. Okay, so which is the second most important thing in chapter 5 and 6. Okay, so loops. Let's think about one thing. Okay, suppose we have this one. Okay, we have an integer salary, okay, equal to, let's say, someone's original salary is, okay, $40,000 per year. Okay, we have it equal to $40,000 per year, and as you know that, okay, every year your salary got increased because yes, there is a CPI, so at least your salary should increase as fast as CPI. Otherwise, literally or in fact, that your salary basically drops because things are going to be more expensive, while the growth of your salary the growth of your salary is not comparable to the growth of goods such as, let's say, grocery or gas or cars. Then basically your spendable income is only going to reduce. So let's come back to programming. Okay, so suppose that every year your when you sign the contract, on the contract the company says, so for every year you are going to say, for the first 5 years your salary is going to increase by 1,000 per year. Okay, so then we have this one. Okay, so then let's say for every year your salary is going to increase by 1,000, and here we have another integer saying, specifying, okay, so how many years have you worked for a specific company. And again, this value, we know that there is a value over here, but we don't know what kind of exact value. It may be 5, it may be 10, it may be 12, 35, who knows. So, and our objective is basically to calculate how much is your salary at this year, okay, at the end of your employment, say when you decide, okay, I want to leave for a new job. And then what we know is that, okay, we have that every year there is a 1,000 increase in the salary. Okay, so let's do it from year 1 to the specific year. Let me use another variable. Okay, let me use length. It meaning that how many years are going to spend at this company. Okay, so what we know is that every year you are going to receive $1,000 increase. So how to implement that? Okay, we know this logic, but how can we use Java to translate it into, let's say, to get the Java code to do that. Okay, so this is the comment. So what we do, basically we will need a loop. So the loop basically says, okay, for every year you work for the company, we are going to increase 1,000 in your salary. So there are different types, there are different ways to implement a loop. The first way is called a while statement. So while we have, before that we should have a variable. Okay, so integer I equal to 1. Okay, it means that at which year is in your employment. So while I is less than or equal to length, meaning that, okay, for every year you spend at the company, because the number of years you spend at the company cannot be larger than the length. And okay, inside the pair of brackets is basically the statement that we want to do if this statement, as long as this statement is true, okay? So what it does is this, okay? If I is less than or equal to length, we're going to increase your salary by $1,000, and then we're going to increase I by 1, I plus plus, or plus plus or plus plus I. They're the same, okay? So it means that, okay, when you enter your first year, your salary is going to increase by 1,000, and then so it will increase your year by another value. Say it goes to year 2, and then it will calculate your salary at year 2. So this is the logic, okay? And so here you may find, okay, this statement is very similar to the if, okay? Over here we have if the condition is satisfied, we do something. Okay, here we have while something is satisfied, we do something. But there is a big difference between this, okay? So what we do is this, okay? Basically, here, initially we have, say, for example, if we have length equal to 5. So initially when I equal to 1, so we find, okay, this condition is true because I is less than or equal to 5. So we have true, and then we're going to increase the salary, and we got I plus plus, so we have I equal to 2, okay? At this time, okay, it will come back to check if this condition is satisfied again. So again, it is satisfied. When I equals to 3, it is satisfied, so we will increase. So every time, in the first time we have salary equal to 41,000. At the second time we have the salary equal to 42,000. At the third time we have third year we have I equal to 33,000. Okay, then at year 4 again it is true. We have salary equal to 44,000. At year 5 it is still true because 5 is less than or equal to 5. So we have salary equal to 45,000. And finally we reach I equal to 6. When I equal to 6, then it come back to check if this condition is true or not. It's false, so it will totally terminate that and go to execute whatever is remaining after this piece of block in your Java code. Okay, so while is basically an iterative way to check if the statement is true or not. Okay, so or basically this is what loops does, and then this is the while loop. For loops are kind of like similar to while loops, but the difference is that the way we implement them. Okay, in for loop, what we usually have three things in the pair of bracelet. So initially, so the first part is called initialization. We have integer I equal to 1. Okay, meaning that. So let me erase that, write it more clearly. Okay, we have integer I equal to 1. Okay, this is called initialization. And the second part is the condition. Well, I is less than or equal to length. The third part is called increment. Okay, say in every iteration, how do you want to increase the variable? Let's say in every iteration we want to increase it by 1. Okay, so we have I plus plus, and inside it is basically the thing that we want to do. What we want to do is salary equal to 1,000. Sorry, salary add plus salary. Sorry, made a mistake. Salary equal to salary plus 1,000. Here we have the same thing. Okay, salary equal to salary plus 1,000. And here there is no need to specify I plus plus. This is not needed because in every iteration, it will execute. It will basically copy and paste the command over here. So there is no need for you to specify I plus plus over here. Okay, so this is for loop. Okay, and this is Basically, for loops and if statement are the most important thing in chapter 5 and 6. And also I want everyone to pay attention is a class called ArrayList, because this class is very often used in Java, and so it's very important for you to be familiar with this class or this object. Okay, so as you can see, there's some other things discussed in chapter 5 and 6. So there is no need for you to go through this. Determine event sources, managing fonts, and checkboxes for chapter 6. Okay, so for chapter 6, there is no need for you to go through the last two parts. Yes, so to save your time. Okay, so just focus on the for loop, do loop, and these are the most important things. Okay, so hope that you have a great week, and I will talk to you next week.